Utah was seen as the promised land for the earliest Western settlers. And for the off-road community, Moab is Mecca. It truly has something for every type of off-road enthusiast. There are overlanding routes full of open landscapes and incredible vistas, rock crawling trails that range from Disneyland rides to extremely challenging.
Whoa.
And a community that embraces the outdoors and knows how to have fun both on and off the trails. So this year, me and my buddy Lance joined up with my good friend Sean from the Story Till Now and his buddy Curtis to experience Easter Jeep Safari in Moab, and to sample as much of Moab as possible. This trip was like no other I've ever done, and as an overlander, it both inspired me and pushed me way past my comfort zone, and as a result, changed the way I view off-roading forever. As soon as we hit the Utah border, things started changing, mainly the weather. Sean, Lance, and I were caravanning to Moab, and as we approached Salt Lake City, we got blanketed with snow, then doused in a rainstorm. But as we approached Moab, the weather cleared, and we got to town with no issues.
All right, we made it to Moab, and it is like Jeep Central. I'm telling you, it's like nothing but Jeeps everywhere you look. You can't do the Jeep wave here. You just have your hand up the whole time. Like, there's just too many Jeeps. It's awesome. I feel like I'm home. I'm home, baby.
Speaking of home, we decided to rent a house for the week so we could have a home base to explore from while staying close to the action in town.
Tell me it's Easter Jeep Safari without telling me it's Easter Jeep Safari. Every house on the street has a flatbed trailer, a Jeep parked in the driveway, ATVs, just off-road vehicles everywhere. It's littered with people coming here to have fun this weekend. Hey, did you see any Broncos as we made our way through town?
No.
None? Just Jeeps?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's one in there somewhere. All right, here's our place that we're staying in. Ooh, is that a Bronco? Seating area for dinner. Probably will never sit here for dinner.
Dude, we will so sit here for dinner.
You think?
No, probably not.
No. Oh, let's check out the outside.
Yeah.
Oh, we might be spending some time out here.
Look at this.
Oh yeah. Oh, nice. Original 7 slot.
For luck.
Check this out. Air hockey table. Yes, please. Table soccer. Oh yeah. This is all happening.
This place is sick. We're gonna have so much fun.
There's no shortage of stuff to do.
Yeah, like it's impossibly bored. Not that we're gonna be bored because we have like an outdoor playground. Like, just look at that. Does that make you just want to drive over
There's
there?
like, it's like, oh look at, there's an air hockey table. Oh wait a minute, we have these things.
Yeah, we have some bigger toys. We need to get all the salt off from the highway.
So we went to get in line at one of the 2 car washes in town.
So this is the line at a car wash. And we have 100% Jeeps here. Jeep, well that doesn't look like a Jeep. What, towing a Jeep, Jeep. There's mine, Jeep, Jeep. I think we have 100% Jeeps here except for one Bronco.
That's kind of the story of the whole town.
One Bronco?
Sorry,
We let the Bronco guy in the car
he's
wash.
here with us, it's okay. So while it's annoying to have to wait to wash your car, at least it's just Jeeps.
After a quick wash of the rigs, we headed over to Zach for dinner, a casual pub fare restaurant with good food.
All right, guys, cheers, EJF. Let's do it.
Okay, we just finished dinner. We got some groceries. We got all the essentials. We got cookies, chips, beer, and coffee. So we're set. And now we're gonna head back to the house and hang out. Tomorrow we're gonna hook up for breakfast with Brad, I think, from Trail Recon, and maybe go do some trails. So that's gonna be a blast. Day 1 Moab, total success.
The next morning, we met Brad for an early breakfast before heading out to the San Rafael Swell, which was a few hours from town and would be my first real overlanding experience in Moab.
Yes, this is just what I was hoping for coming out to Moab. Like, look at these rock formations. I mean, I've been out here in the Moab area before, but I've never got to explore something like this. It feels like we're at the base of a spaceship or something that just landed. It's just, the scale is so massive. It's like otherworldly. So I'm here with Brad from Trail Recon, Sean from Story Till Now, my buddy Lance and his Bronco Raptor, and we're just airing down, getting ready to hit the trail, and I cannot wait to see what this place has in store. So Sean, tell me about this trail that we're going on today.
This trail's called Behind the Reef, and the reef is just kind of all these rocks are kind of sticking up out of the ground, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is we're going behind it and it's beautiful, and we're gonna go see what's out there.
Easy, hard, medium?
I'd say like easy to medium, but very scenic.
Awesome.
So there's a little gatekeeper obstacle at the beginning. It's probably like the biggest challenge that we'll face.
Well, thanks for taking us out here, man. I can't wait.
Well, thanks for coming out here with me, man. I can't wait to be out here with you.
Oh! Hey, Brad, so have you been out here before to the San Rafael Swell?
I have never been out here. I've heard about this place, but I'm excited to go explore it.
Well, Sean says he said medium to easy with a gatekeeper.
Yeah, you can't trust what he says. His easy is everybody's medium, and so if we're at a medium trail, well, we'll see how it goes.
All right, Sean, we'll be rating your rating system. Well, I like this, guys. I'm not seeing a bunch of Jeeps out here, so I think that's a good omen. Dude, I love those rock formations over there.
Yeah, so that's the San Rafael Swell, and we're kind of going to go like right behind that.
I mean, seriously, they had to have filmed an episode of Star Trek or something out here. This totally looks like a different planet.
Yeah, that's what I love about Utah. It just doesn't seem real.
Not sure if you guys heard that, but I just put the Raptor in off-road exhaust mode.
Sorry, didn't hear it, man.
Mine's in that mode all the time. Brad?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you over my Magnaflow exhaust.
The trail was winding us around, getting closer to the rock walls of the canyon, where we'd come in contact with the first obstacle we'd need to pass.
So we're just climbing along this ledge, and honestly, it's a little more technical than I expected. And you can see it's just, I don't know, just some rocks in there. It doesn't look too bad. Of course, it never looks as hard on camera, but it's not like rock crawling over rocks or anything. But it's a pretty, it's pretty tight in spots, and it's a little more sketchy than I thought it was going to be. It's a shelf road. There's, I don't know, maybe 500-foot drop below us with woohoo Bradley with you know, rocks on either side, and so sometimes you are hitting rocks that you can't really see because it's hard to see the edge of the road, and the trail itself is so kind of up and down that it can be really hard to see kind of like what's coming. So it's like hidden, almost like hidden obstacles.
This little gatekeeper wasn't anything too bad, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a few pucker moments when it got narrow. Soon enough, though, we were through the other side and ready to see what else the reef had to show us.
Oh, look at this. This is just awesome already.
Dude, what a view. Dude, it's snowing.
Crazy. Where's it even coming from?
The clouds. Two things I didn't expect coming to Easter Jeep Safari. Empty trail and snow.
The snow caught us off guard, but as it fell out of a partly sunny sky, it totally changed the vibe of the trail. Suddenly, we went from open skies and vistas to something a little more subdued and introspective as the views became almost misty with snow. Not only was there something new and awe-inspiring to see around each bend, but now we had no idea what to expect from the skies above us as well.
That tan rock over on that red plateau looks like a little UFO.
Eventually we came to a point where everything was so good, we decided to take an extra few minutes to take it all in.
What do you guys think about stopping here and hanging out for a few minutes, taking a break?
Sounds good to me.
So we just stopped to take in the surroundings here, and oh my gosh, look at this place. So you've got these hoodoos, the red rocks, you've got these just massive rock formations everywhere, and it makes you wonder like how this stuff was formed, like, and just the geography of this place is so impressive. It's so fun to see, and it feels really special to be out here because no one else is out here right now. Easter Jeep Safari is happening back in Moab, which is wonderful, and we're out here where no one else is hanging out, and just really cool. I'm really glad I came out on this trip with Sean and Brad and get to see this stuff and hang out with them a little bit. So we're just going to have a little bite, maybe take in the scenery a bit, chat, and then hit the trail again. I heard maybe there's some mines or something up here that we might go check out, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, this is just so fun, so great that whatever we do next is going to be great.
The blue skies were back, and we were excited to see if we could find that old cabin ahead.
Every corner we go around is amazing.
Doesn't suck.
It's moments like these that remind me why I love being on the trail so much. No streaming service can beat the beauty and entertainment of seeing things like this with good people.
Sit around and watch the tube, but nothing's on. I change the channels for
I see cabin.
We just stopped at this old cabin, and it's so weird to think that all the way out here somebody built a cabin for some reason, probably for mining. That's generally what these cabins were for, but who knows? It's I'm so finally I get a spoon. I get a spoon from Sean after all this time.
Yeah, if you want some of the other cutlery, just let me know.
I think there's some spoons in that cabin. A lot of this stuff is from mining, but we are way out here in a really harsh environment, and so it's just really neat. Let's go see what's inside.
The cabin felt old, but not that old. Maybe something that lasted until the 1940s or 50s. It was uranium mines like this one that were critical to the covert Manhattan Project that led to the building of the first atomic bomb and the ending of World War II. Who knew that what was once considered a waste product would become a central ingredient in the arms race and the Cold War that followed?
So we've been walking around trying to kind of put together history here and figure out how these structures were holding up and how they fell down, and all the time kind of looking for the mine. And we just heard Brad call out that he found it. So we're gonna walk over here, hopefully not step on any rattlesnakes, and go take a look at what was a mine. So this is something, maybe it's filled in, or maybe it was never a mine. It could just be a cave.
There's like a wire hanging from the top though.
Could have been used for something like a cook pot, or I don't know. So when I look at this stuff, it like gives a little glimpse into how some of these bigger rock formations were formed, like over time. It's like I'm in this drainage and you can see like the dirt has been swept away by wind or water, and it's brushing off the soil from these rock formations. And it's really cool. You know, I'm not a geologist, I don't know how this stuff works, but I can imagine it being down here just looking at how this part of this drainage is forming bigger rocks, and maybe someday long in the future these will become monoliths like we're seeing above us on the rock walls.
At the top of the hill was an old truck of some sort. Even though Sean, Brad, Lance, and I are all truck enthusiasts, no one could figure out what kind of rig it used to be. If you have a guess, put it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. In any case, it was pretty cool to see this old rig. Cabin stop complete, we were back on the trail and ready to see what was next.
The Baja mode just changed like everything about the suspension, the whole thing.
Dude, I thought you said there was going to be some views in this trip. Wow. I'll be interested to see what this turns into.
We snaked our way through some small washes, but couldn't quite see where we were headed next. But somehow, we all knew it wouldn't be disappointing.
Like the diversity of this trail, the scenery, like this is a smash hit right here.
This is a trail that I dream of.
As we approached a ridge, we got one of those only in Utah type vistas. And it wouldn't be the last one on this trip either.
That is just awesome right there.
So we're up on this little ridge, and it's just incredible. You can just see for, I don't know, maybe 60 miles or something across the valley floor. And there's all these weather patterns that are just dropping precip on the mountains all around the valley. It's just spectacular. I feel like we lucked out with this trail and this weather right now. I know that Sean had been out on part of it, but not all of it. So like what we're driving right now is new to all of us. We're all just kind of marveling at it.
Now it's nice to drive these trails with no like gear, you know, just like a lightweight rig, not lugging people or a bunch of stuff around. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I'm totally into this ultralight kind of rock landing stuff.
I imagine your Broncos eats this stuff up.
I'm back here itching to go 70.
This loop is a lot longer than I thought. We're not even halfway done.
Yeah, I was noticing we got a ways to go.
As we finished driving through the high meadows of the reef, the trail started to climb again, and we started wondering what we'd see at the top.
Trail changes a lot. I really like that it's got a lot of different vibes to it.
That is one of the most incredible views I've ever seen. It's pretty awesome. It looks like I'm looking out over the plains of Africa out in front of us here.
That's Pride Rock down there.
Do we want to go to the right and see if there's a lookout point or something?
I think the answer is yeah, let's do it.
We were driving on this bridge, and there's this little road that went to the right, and we were like, should we go see where it goes, or should we keep driving? And of course, we were like, let's go see where it goes. And it came up to this lookout that is just jaw-dropping. I mean, it's just incredible. So we just had to stop and take some pictures and get out of the rigs and walk around and just like appreciate this view in this area. So anyway, I'm so glad we took that road and stopped to take a look. So we also found this fire pit, and there is what looks like an old shock that was burned and put in this fire pit, which is not cool. So I'm just gonna take this home and find a proper place to dispose it so it's not left out here. So, you know, whenever we can find stuff like this, just pick it up, throw it away, keep it off the trail.
Okay, so the route back to the trail we were on is to the right.
I like how it says most difficult. I'm in.
So we're about to drive down this, what looks like a drainage, and it's getting pretty rough. And it reminded me that when we turned off on this road, it said this is a black diamond, or like the hardest of hard kind of trail. And we were all like, yeah, that sounds great, we're gonna do this. And it has not been hard at all. Now this is starting to look interesting.
I got a feeling this wash is going to be pretty interesting.
I like the sound of that.
The trek down to the bottom of the wash was scenic, a little rocky, but overall not much of a challenge for the 4 rigs on this trip. And while we were all hoping for a little challenge, we weren't disappointed that the trail wasn't more technical. We'd hit those trails later in the week. However, when we got to the bottom, the trail completely changed once again, and we found ourselves in the narrows of a canyon.
This is a lot like the Anza Borrego Desert right here.
That's exactly what it was reminding me of.
Makes me want to go out to the Anza Borrego Desert. Come on out, dude, you gotta see it.
Oh, a little bit of a squeeze here.
Come through.
I feel a bit like a school bus here, boys.
Is it too narrow for you?
One spot. You want a spot? Okay. Well, that was a little tight. I was actually hoping that we would have something that was kind of tight and squeezed us through. And you know, the trucks had a little bit more problem getting through because they're so long. The 292 had no problems whatsoever. Like the Bronco though, it had some issues because it's wide. It's as wide as a Humvee. So we got it through, but it had about 1.5 inches of space on one of those corners. So that was a ton of fun. And everybody got through unscathed.
There was an easy line to the left, and I think we're not taking the easy line. How's it look?
Easy. I don't even remember seeing this road when we came down here. This must have just looked like a wash or something.
Love that forward front end, looks really cool. Yeah, it's one thing they nailed. You Lance, that was bootyful.
We made it all the way to like golden hour.
Sun, thy will be
trail I've ever done in my entire life.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I can make it come together. I'll make it come alive. And it's gonna get a little better. Invisible sun that will be done.
As we neared the end, we were all thinking the same thing.
We do that again.
That was awesome.
This is an epic day. This will go down in the record books.
That night we got home late, and I was tired but hooked on Moab and couldn't wait to see what we'd get into the next day. The next morning, Lance and I headed into town to get breakfast and choose the trail we'd be doing that day.
Just a quick plug for Gloria's great breakfast spot. Wasn't super crowded, food's really good, affordable prices. This is the spot when you're in Moab.
All right, Lance, we're trying to find a trail here, and got these great magazines for Easter Jeep Safari, and it's got a layout of all the trails. It's got ratings on all the trails from 1 to 9, even though I think Richard Canyon seems like it should be a 10 to me, but I think some of these other ones are a little conservative. And we are also looking at this, which is the schedule of when these trails are closed for EJS runs. So the one I think that we're interested in is called Metal Masher. It's connected to Gemini Bridges, which is just a really easy, beautiful drive. And so we can get up there and gain some elevation and maybe see Arches National Park, which is kind of like in this area over here. So we think that'll be fun, challenging, and beautiful. Now, this coding system here is like, if it's gray, it's not being used. If it's blue, it's closed for the day. Then there's kind of one-way special benefit stuff that's happening. Or down here, if it's white, that means that they're gonna do runs at these times on those days, so you don't want to be there when they're doing this. So we looked at Metal Masher, which is, where are you, Metal Masher? Here you are, right there. And today is Tuesday, and it is gray. So it's not being used by EJS, no runs. It doesn't mean there won't be people out there, but I think we're gonna go for it. What do you think?
I'm in.
As Lance and I started out, we both opened up Onyx Off-Road since Metal Masher was already in there. All we had to do was follow the little green line to the trailhead.
Man, I just switched to Onyx, like 3D map follower or whatever you want to call this. It's super cool.
One of the best parts of choosing Metal Masher as our trail for the day was that we got to take Gemini Bridges Road to get there. This road is right off the highway and drops you immediately down into some classic Moab landscapes with red rock, slick rock, hoodoos, and monoliths everywhere you turn your head. The weather was threatening precipitation all around us, but our road kept us right in the sunshine as we headed toward what I would come to understand as the toughest trail I'd ever done in my life. So we're driving along what's called Gemini Bridges Road. So Gemini Bridges is a pretty well-known, pretty easy trail. It's just really scenic. So, you know, there's this kind of vibe around the harder trails or the better trails, or like, you know, you're a better Jeeper or something, or off-roader if you go on really, really hard trails. And look, there's some truth to that because the hard trails are really fun and you want to challenge yourself, but like, there is nothing wrong with driving through a trail like this and just appreciating what's around you, because it's world-class out here. I mean, this trail in particular is so easy to get to, and it shows you some of just like the most wonderful rock structures that Moab has to offer. So anyway, I can't wait to see where we're going to Metal Masher, but the road to get there has been pretty beautiful.
So check the sign at this intersection. We might go right here. Why am I so excited?
Duh, because you're in Moab.
Correct answer.
My exhaust was in normal mode.
Doesn't sound nearly as cool, man.
And so the Metal Masher carnage begins.
All right, well, we came to our first obstacle here, and it's just basically, I don't know, a rock wall to climb up. Doesn't look too bad, but it looks a lot of fun. So
Here we go, let's get into it.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna try this. And I'm not totally sure how it's gonna go. So we're at 16 degrees. I think my other tire's about to catch. Yeah, okay, oh, man. Hey, my heart going a little bit, but wasn't too bad. We did it. Yes, let's go. Okay, 392 had no problem coming up that, and we can see the tire tracks here. But Lance, you're wider, yeah. And this hole right there didn't feel super great to me. But you think because you're wider, you might catch?
I wanted to be
catch
here,
that, yeah.
But I don't know where that's going to put me here.
Well, if you aim for this, you're going to catch your driver at some point.
Yeah.
Do you want me to spot you into so you get your passenger on this piece?
I've got the camera. I'm going to see what I can do.
Oh, camera, yeah. Forgot you got your high tech. Yep. Hey, how'd that feel?
That's amazing. I didn't think I'd be able to do that.
Yeah, you were stuffed on your back passenger.
Nothing rubs.
Yeah, but you hit a little on your front skid, but just a little kiss.
Right. That's what we're doing. Awesome.
Dude, I feel like I was born to do this.
It's fun because it's so new to me.
I love the geometry of it all.
It makes perfect sense for you.
With our first taste of the trail complete, Lance and I were now hungry for more. We were dealing with both a sense of excitement about the trail ahead, and maybe even a little shame that we both have these incredible machines to drive, and we haven't really used them to their potential yet. Something that Metal Masher would start to remedy as we got further into the trail. Once you start the trail in earnest, you have 3 levels of obstacles to drive. Level 1 is just the rocky base of the trail taking you from one place to another. Level 2 is smaller but fun obstacles that don't challenge the rigs much but are really fun to drive. And level 3 are the obstacles we had to get out and think about before attempting to drive.
Are you going that fast in 4 low?
The 392 has a higher geared transfer case.
I'm like, oh, my 4 low sounds a little more whiny than yesterday. I have my rear locker on.
Oh, there you go. You sound a little more whiny than yesterday, too. Just kidding.
After a few miles on Metal Masher, Lance and I were feeling warmed up and ready to tackle a bigger challenge. And when we arrived at what's called the Big Ledge, we got exactly what we asked for, and then some.
Oh yeah, I remember this one from videos. I saw Tundra try this, just tore it up.
We have seen this one on YouTube and read about it and seen pictures of it, and it is very intimidating. This is buggy territory. In fact, you can kind of tell who's done what based on the tire tracks. Like buggy track, those are buggy tracks.
Buggy trail.
Uh-huh.
Let me go stand in this hole for you.
With like, I don't know what, that's like a 90-degree approach angle right there.
Yeah.
You're right up.
Pure buggy track, so clearly.
That's the kind of stuff that flips Jeeps if you're not careful. So we're looking at this and we're thinking, there's no shame in not doing like the hardest obstacle. So I think what we're gonna do instead is try this line, which is still, you know, it's not like a easy obstacle. It's not this huge hole in the ground, but I think that this will still be fun, challenging, maybe a little pucker. So let's give it a run and find out. All right, here we go. Whew. I mean, it's like the bypass, but it still looks like quite the rock here. Here we go. Ooh. God, that feels so crazy. my God, that was so awesome. Yes. Woo.
Lance, being Lance, wanted at least to poke his nose in the harder part of the obstacle just to see what it felt like.
You're gonna hit.
It's okay to know when you're out of your league, so Lance decided to take the bypass as well. But we both have an eye on this rock wall for the next time we come back to Moab with a little more experience under our belts. This is an example of how what seems intimidating at first can become almost routine. Lance had zero issues getting up the bypass, which made me realize that I needed to get out of my own head and just start letting the Jeep do its thing on the trail.
Do you want to try one of these over here?
This one looks doable.
Immediately following the big ledge was a stair-step climb. These climbs are intimidating to look out below, but the slick rock, which is made of petrified sand, is kind of like Velcro for your tires, which belies the name slick rock, a name given to these surfaces by early settlers who had wagons on metal wheels that could not find traction. That said, when it rains, slick rock lives up to its name no matter what kind of tires you have. For us though, the trail was dry, which made for lots of easy traction on the climbs.
I'm not sure how far along this trail we are because I can't honestly remember how long it is. I should pull up Onyx and look at where we are on the map. I've just been having so much fun. And there's some more kind of obstacles over here. Maybe we'll try to do some of them because like we're gaining a little confidence, which I know is dangerous. But I don't know. Maybe we can get up these things. Let's see.
Our next obstacle is called the Ledge Play Area. So naturally, we decided to stop and play.
Nope.
However, as much as we wanted to take the big kids route,
no.
Our approach angles weren't good enough to get up the legend.
Now up, back out.
So we kept moving down to the kiddie ledges until we finally got traction.
It's been awesome, isn't it? Alright, easy, easy. What? Nothing.
Lance, being Lance, wanted to give the big kids ledge a shot too.
Little scrapage.
But he suffered the same fate as me and moved down to a more manageable approach.
No, it's your skid plate underneath. Just like a hole right there is the problem. Maybe right here you could catch. If you got your driver way over here, because there's less of a hole. No, not even close. That was a bad idea. Maybe just scoot over more. There you go. Hey man, you were sky high there. I could see your undercarriage.
So Lance, one of the things that feels good about being Moab right now is that I can see everyone else's midlife crisis rolling around as well.
We were now deep into Metal Masher, traversing ever so slightly toward a rocky cliff to our right, with the LaSalle mountain range in the distance watching over our shenanigans. This trail throws so many small and medium obstacles at you constantly that after a while, things that would seem like an obstacle on an overlanding trail felt like speed bumps on our way to something bigger.
The only thing better would be Taggart with us.
I agree, man. I've been really missing that guy today. And I know he would love this.
Of course, sometimes we'd come across what looked like a little drop from above, but what was actually something we needed to take seriously. This drop put my Jeep at a 30-degree pitch, which was just enough to tempt Lance into taking the smaller of the two drops.
We have this whole area to ourselves. Not supposed to happen this way, especially during Easter Jeeps apart.
We haven't seen anybody.
We couldn't have planned it better.
It's true that the trail gods had smiled upon us this day, with no one else around, great weather, and a trail that was teaching us more about rock crawling at every turn. At this point, it was pure fun.
All right, so I'm starting to figure out why this rock crawling thing is so fun. I mean, the stuff that these rigs can do. And look, this is not a rock crawling rig. I built this to be a rock lander, or I'm building it to be a rock lander, and so this is just us having fun, kind of seeing what it's capable of. And you saw back there, there's spots that's like, nope, can't do it, don't have the approach angle, and others where, yeah, it crawled right up. And man, it does make you pucker a little bit, but it is so fun, and you get to know your rig so much better when you do this stuff. Like, you know, when we're out overlanding, gosh, I'm not thinking about looking at the sky from the cab, you know, like I'm just thinking about finding a place to camp. And so to get to know the rig a little bit more doing these kinds of things will just make me better at everything else. And I'm having like the time of my life with Lance today. My only regret is that Chris isn't here to hang out with us and do this with us, but he will be soon. He will be soon.
Metal Masher was now snaking away from the rock cliffs and leading us toward some of the most fun obstacles of the day, and at least one spot that scared the crap out of me, but that would come later.
This is a little bit of a bad boy.
Yeah, look at that. Why do I just know how to do this? This is really weird.
Well, you're not a stranger to wheeling and off-roading, just not in such a concentrated way.
It's so funny when you start doing these trails like this, how quickly you recalibrate. It's like a big rock is relative, or an obstacle is relative, and once you start in on a trail this is probably a medium trail, maybe medium to hard, it's a 7 out of 10. I don't know, maybe, you know, whose rating system, I don't know, but like, once you start doing some of these things, then it's like, oh wait, that one's actually not very hard because I did this other one that was a lot harder. So it's funny to me how you recalibrate and how each obstacle teaches you something new about your rig.
So how did you break in your new Raptor? Metal Masher.
That one looks bad, but it's easy peasy, man.
One of the things we were both impressed with was how well our rigs were doing. I was surprised to see the Bronco with its stock suspension have decent flex and do an okay job keeping the tires in contact with the rocks. And my Metal Cloak suspension on the 392 was made for Moab. It was incredibly smooth on the slick rock, and I felt in control at each change in trail.
So we're about to come up to a named obstacle. Let me check, I can't remember the name of it. Hey Lance, what's the name of that obstacle that we're coming up to?
Rock Chunker.
Thank you. Okay, it's called Rock Chunker. I mean, that makes me think of, I don't know, chunky rocks. But a named obstacle usually means that it's significant, so I'll be curious to see it.
Rock Chunker is not really what we did here. I think we missed the main obstacle because we were just following the main trail. This is where a guide would have been really nice to have. That said, the weather was threatening to rain on the slick rock behind us, so skipping the obstacle and pushing forward wasn't so bad.
It's a hard right turn.
We were now headed toward Mirror Gulch, which would prove to be the tightest squeeze we'd have all day long. This is another spot where it's more comfortable to have the width of a Jeep to sneak through these narrow chutes than the width of a Bronco. That said, Lance and his Raptor had zero issues, even though he had less room for error. Mirror Gulch gives you some medium-sized stair steps that are slicker than some of the others on the trail, which meant I got some practice bumping up my back tires. And you know what they say, if at first you don't bump it, do it 4 more times. With Finnegan up, it was Lance's turn to practice bumping. And you know what they say, if a Jeep struggles in front of you, you are guaranteed to get it on the first try. The rest of Mirror Gulch is still a tight squeeze, but the steps are smaller and relatively easier to climb on the slick rock. just as we came to the end of the obstacle, we arrived at what's called Misty's Thumb, a giant stair-step wall that was intimidating enough to make us get out and walk the obstacle first.
You think you need a spot, or you got this?
I think I got this. I don't think it's going to be that complicated.
Roger.
Go straight up.
There are many lines you can take on Misty's Thumb, and an advanced obstacle at the top. This is where the Nitto trail grapplers started earning their paycheck. The little ledges of Misty's Thumb can make it harder to keep traction, but those big aggressive lugs on the Nittos had lots of grip as I climbed. Because I was skipping the advanced obstacle, I had a hard left turn about 3/4 of the way up, and after that, a little bit of a tight squeeze to get around the corner to the top.
Oh, great spot, dude. That was a great spot.
Lance and his Bronco took a similar line as I did, and with a little bit of skinny pedal had no issues with the climb.
What an amazing feeling when you're just looking at sky.
As par for the course, the squeezes were tighter for the Bronco, but no scraping, no damage.
You know what's on the other side?
More trail. Best day, dude. Best day.
Yeah, ditto.
We were now approaching the top of the plateau, headed towards a place called Arth's Rim. The trail from Misty's Thumb to Arth's Rim was type 2, small but fun ledges and boulders that made for a great drive with nice views. We were driving along having a great time when all of a sudden, something caught me off guard that changed my experience for the rest of the day.
The road just disappeared underneath me.
I had a full-on anxiety attack because for some reason approaching that ledge gave me vertigo and made me feel like I was about to fall. And it was a long way down. I know that doesn't make sense to everyone, but it was real and it was hard to come back from.
I just found out that I don't like heights. Pulled up to that ledge and I was flying the drone over it and I just got this like panic attack, like anxiety. Because the drop just surprised me. I knew there was a lookout, but I didn't know how far down it was. And whew, man, I just had all kinds of anxiety running through my system. So I'm staying away from ledges for the rest of this trip, even though we're kind of winding our way along this ledge. Just gonna stay, to the other side of the ledge if I can.
Unfortunately, staying away from ledges was not in the cards for this part of the trail. After climbing an initial obstacle, the trail veered toward the edge, and in doing so, frayed my nerves.
I'm just gonna stay away from the ledges.
There's a shelf to your right.
I do not like this.
When our mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out.
Dude, I could definitely use a Xanax at the moment.
Will help us spot you?
I don't think so, I just gotta get through it.
Alright, take your time and recenter yourself emotionally here.
For the reminder, I needed it.
Yeah, I said it just so the way.
Sometimes a certain smell.
To make matters worse, the trail led me to a ledge that pointed my front end directly at the cliff. Of all the obstacles we'd done this day, this was the one that gave me a true panic attack.
Close so much to the edge.
Don't go too high, because then you're going to want to be tippy to the edge.
Hey, that was my least favorite part.
No volunteers to co-sign on my fears. I'll sign on the line.
Lance, I am very glad to be going down this side of the mountain.
Alone, gonna change my circumstance.
Yeah, I bet. I was glad to get you off of that cliff.
I need to move right now, 'cause I know it's over. I was born a joker. Nobody's coming for me. Only smoking secondhand. I know it's over. I was born a joker. Nobody's coming for me.
Well, it's about 7:20 in the evening and we've been on this trail all day long. And I can't think of a better way to spend the day. This has just been fantastic. But it's late enough now that we don't really want to do the rest of it in the dark. So we took an easy out about 3/4 of the way through, I think. Right before an obstacle called Widowmaker. We were like, oh, well, that sounds a little ominous. So maybe we'll bug out before Widowmaker and go have some dinner in Moab. So we're gonna go into Moab, have some dinner, and then reconnect with Sean, who spent today at the Jeep event and is having dinner with the Jeep folks tonight. So I can't wait to hear about the concept cars that he got to drive today, and it just sounds like a really cool thing. So dinner, back to the house, and then connect with Sean. Okay, we're back at Zach for dinner because why screw up a good thing? And steak. Steak for you? Well, good morning from Moab, day 3. So the weather has turned. It is sunny today. We've had these like beautiful stormy skies, but it's been cold and warm and then rainy, snowy. It's been just crazy weather. And today it looks like what I would think of in Moab in the desert, which is just blue skies everywhere. So really excited for that. This morning, Lance and I are just gonna like hang out downtown for a bit and check out some of the vendors that are here. And then this afternoon, I think that we are going to go hit a trail with Sean and maybe Mike from Metal Cloak and just go kind of have some fun in the late afternoon. So that's the plan for today. So for now, let's go see what's in downtown Moab. Guys, if you need a tow, this is the guy that you need to have tow you right here. Look at this thing. $49 Miner right there, folks.
Down at the Walker Drug General Store, Jeep was showing off its concept vehicles. My favorites were an overlanding outfitted Jeep Grand Wagoneer with some very fancy, and I'm guessing, very expensive accessories. Next was this Jeep 392 that looked like it was just itching to be on the trail. It had 42-inch tires, cool fender flares, and a transparent hood scoop showing off the big V8 in there. I know these are just concepts, but boy oh boy would I love to see this one on the trail someday. Next, we swung by a random street corner in Moab to pick up lunch at Quesadilla Mobilla.
Look at this quesadilla. Quesadilla Mobilla, baby.
Moab is littered with vendors during Easter Jeep Safari. They're tucked around every street corner, and they also have a large official vendor area on the south side of town.
All right, we're gonna go see the Metal Cloak guys because they've got the CTI trailer out. And just be fun to say hi and tell them how my suspension is done so far. Hey Mike, we're here at the CTI trailer. What are you guys doing down here?
So our CTI Corner Travel Index trailer travels around the country. We do suspension testing for Jeepers. And not just Jeepers with our product, but Jeepers with any product. We put it up here, you can get out, you can look around, take some pictures, we'll make some suggestions and hopefully make your ride better. So that's what the CTI is all about, and that's what we're doing.
So my advice is find the CTI trailer. It's on tour, it goes all over the country. And so just go to metalcloak.com, look up the CTI trailer and find out the schedule of where it is. Come put your Jeep on it and see where you are. Okay, just finished hanging out with Metal Cloak. I think I might go back there tomorrow morning and put the 392 on the CTI trailer and see what the score is. There's kind of a line today, so I didn't want to wait around, but let me get in first thing in the morning. So right now, I'm just gonna hook up with Sean. We're gonna grab Mike from Metal Cloak and we're gonna head up to Hell's Revenge and do that trail this afternoon. Can't wait, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Let's go.
So Sean, Mike, and I headed to the parking lot of Hell's Revenge, a trail that would push me way past my comfort zone.
And Sean, you've done this trail before, but in a very different rig.
Yeah, I did it in my Bronco when it was totally stock, and three-wheeled it up Hell's Gate and almost pooped myself.
Well, although that makes for good content, I hope you don't poop yourself today.
Thanks, man. I also hope I don't poop myself.
But
unless I need to go really bad, in which case I might just let it rip.
3 of us are going to go. It's going to be me, the 292, Sean and his monster Gladiator AMW 606 horsepower swaps V8 monster, and then Mike from Metal Cloak in his 2.0 turbo JL 2-door. So Mike, you've done this recently, right?
Yes, yesterday, first time.
So you're
I'm a veteran.
So you know exactly what to do on every nook and cranny.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. I got a pretty good trail memory of what we had yesterday, so it's fun. You just kind of follow the black line. So
I can do that.
We'll have a good time.
Woo, baby! All right, we are just in the parking lot waiting to go up. And Sean's gonna take lead. I'm gonna follow him. Mike's gonna bring up the rear. And it looks like we're on a Disneyland ride. I'm not kidding you. There's like all these little toy Jeeps going up the side of the hill. You know, it's like those places where kids can drive cars. That's what it looks like here. It looks like kids driving little Jeeps up this slick rock, and it looks like a lot of fun. I cannot wait. I feel like we're going on a ride at Disneyland right now.
The thing to the top of the roller coaster, you know. Don't forget to disconnect that sway bar. Have you guys both been out on this trail? I have. Will hasn't.
I've never actually wheeled in Moab before, so this is like a bunch of first times for me, and it's been awesome.
First time for me on Hell's Revenge was yesterday, so I'm still learning. I've only done it in a stock Bronco. So the left side of that wall up there is a nice line for a longer wheelbase. There you go, straight up.
Sean's Gladiator isn't your run-of-the-mill build. It has 40-inch tires with beadlock wheels, a sizable lift, and 606 horsepower under the hood, all installed by Epic Adventure Outfitters. So this first obstacle was kind of like an appetizer for the Trail Destroyer.
Yeah, this is a fun one.
I want to try it.
The longer wheelbase line is straight up the rock.
Now my Jeep Wrangler 392 is no slouch either. With 38-inch Nitto trail grapplers on Method B grip wheels, a Metal Cloak Game Changer upgraded suspension, also installed by Epic Adventure Outfitters, its 470 horsepower V8 idled up the first wall. Now Mike's two-door Wrangler Metal Cloak build is also a very capable Jeep, but as we saw firsthand, having a shorter wheelbase does come with a different set of requirements. Whoa! Mike's rear passenger tire slipped down into a hole before his front tires could get purchased on the ledge above. Now Mike is a great driver, and his Metal Cloak undercloak armor system kept him from getting any damage, but after a few attempts he decided to keep things moving by taking a different line, which was the right move, especially when you're on a popular trail with a line of rigs waiting to go up or come down.
How'd that feel, Mike?
That's fine.
Really?
Just couldn't see the hole on the right.
I mean, I was about to vomit watching you.
I need a right side spotter.
As Sean led us deeper into the trail, we had a few more warm-up obstacles before entering what I'm going to call the Maze of Hell's Revenge, a winding, twisting carnival ride for Jeeps.
Okay, I'm at the top.
Coming up.
The good news is it's relatively easy to see where you're supposed to put your tires. The bad news is we were getting closer to the hordes of other rigs on the trail that day.
All right, I just drove that first little obstacle, and look, it wasn't like a hard obstacle, but it does make your heart race when you're pointed straight up in the air and you're just trusting.
I might want to get by side by side, but he's not moving. There he goes, maybe.
You're just trusting.
Plenty of room.
You're just trusting your tires, and you're just like keep moving forward no matter what. So it does make your heart beat a little bit, even though I think in the grand scheme of things, it's not that hard of an obstacle.
What Hell's Revenge does really well is psych you out. Some of the climbs look ridiculous.
Got a Jeep coming down. Pull straight up and off to the right a little bit. He can get by you.
All right, we're just driving up this like massive climb, long climb, and it is psychologically intimidating, but driving it right now doesn't feel that bad other than some natural human anxiety for people maybe who haven't done this before. But I'll tell you what, this slick rock is so tacky. These Nitto trail grapplers are just sticking to it like Velcro, so that's good. That gives me a little comfort.
On Hell's Revenge, what goes up must also come down. And a recurring theme for me was the feeling that I was about to drive off a ledge. One of the things I love about this trail is that it's really hard to get lost. And while you still have to pay attention, there's some comfort in the fact that your lines have already been chosen. All you have to do is hold on for the ride. It being Easter Jeep Safari, everyone was in town, and as we'd find out, lots of folks were on Hell's Revenge today, including everyone's favorite off-road recovery personality.
Did you see Matt?
No, Oh, did he pass us?
He was in the bleeping Jeep crawler,
oh.
And then I was like, "Hey, Matt," and he looked at me like with an unhappy face, was like, "I was like, what?"
It's me, Sean. Who?
Yeah. He had no idea who I was.
That's so funny. It's so relative, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody else on the trail knows exactly who you are.
It's hard to beat a day like this in Moab. The sun was out, the trail was dry, and the La Salle Mountains were perfectly snow-capped from all the precipitation from the past few days, and it made for some awesome wheeling.
So Mike, this is basically what the Metal Cloak suspension is made for, right?
I think so, yeah.
Finnegan was feeling great on the trail at the moment. My Nitto trail grapplers were making short work of the slick rock, and the Metal Cloak suspension was flexing in all the right places to keep me moving smoothly through the trail. This is why I'm building the Jeep this way.
Busy out here. I think it wouldn't be as busy on the afternoon. Yeah, it's surprising, but nice day.
It seemed like every vehicle type was on the trail today at the same time.
Let's wait till the traffic jam clears a little bit here.
And there are no stop signs, no traffic lights out here. It's each rig for themselves, which is a completely new phenomenon for me.
So we are seeing a ton of other Jeeps and buggies and motorcycles and side-by-sides on the trail right now. And this is what I thought I was gonna get in Moab. I thought it was gonna be like this everywhere. This is the only time so far that I've really come across traffic, which is to be expected. I mean, this is like a very popular trail, and it's really close to town, so I'm not surprised to see a bunch of rigs, but you know, it's kind of like I'm used to being out by myself, and this is like being in a crowd, but it's still a lot of fun.
Hell's Revenge has basically two types of terrain. One, the slick rock we've been traversing all afternoon, and two, some soft sandy dirt in between the slick rock. It gives you a nice change of pace every now and then, but most of it is on the rocks, just how I like my cocktails.
Got a little rock crawl here.
We were headed to one of the most famous obstacles in Moab, Hell's Gate, which is famous for flipping unsuspecting rigs as they try to climb what is a very steep V-notch with moving tire targets all the way up or down. I hadn't committed to doing Hell's Gate until I laid eyes on it myself to see what I was up against.
Did you do Hell's Gate, Mike? I did, yeah. I have a little bit of PTSD because I three-wheeled my Bronco up that last time. I think I remember that.
So the reason all of these people are kind of hanging out is because this is the beginning of Hell's Gate. And the reason these people are sitting over here is because this is where the show begins in terms of crawling up a pretty intimidating canyon here. So this is called Hell's Gate. I mean, it doesn't look like it's not intimidating. I feel like he's gonna run right over me. I mean, it looks, I might have a wet seat by the end of this, but I'm gonna give it a go. There's a drop in?
There's a little bit of a drop in. You gotta get down there before you can come back up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What's that like?
I liked coming up more than I liked going down.
Oh, that's not encouraging. So this poor guy was coming up and his shifter broke and he got stuck in park, but luckily there's a tour guide who knows how to work side-by-sides. He went down there and got it in neutral maybe, and he's just kind of breaking it back down. So at least he can get off the obstacle. How he's getting up here though, I'm not quite so sure. There's like no good way out of there. It's showtime, kind of. It's showtime for Sean. And Sean offered to let me ride along with him in passenger just to kind of get a feel for it. Because he's done it before. He's done it before in a stock Bronco, which didn't go too well. Now he's gonna do this Gladiator. And I'm just gonna run camera for him and get a feel for what it, you know, how he's placing his wheels and what it looks like, so that when I do it, it's not a totally brand new experience. I gotta say, it's really cool that Sean let me do this.
All right, Hell's Gate, brave ride passenger.
Don't say that.
To get to Hell's Gate, you have to drop in on the other side of the canyon, which is steep and gnarly enough to make just about anyone cringe. It's a twisting and turning V-notch that throws you into your seatbelt and anything not secured into the dash.
You're about to drop over here.
Unfortunately, at the bottom of the canyon, there was sitting water, which is the one thing that makes slick rock actually slick. But our hope was that wet tires would still grip good enough on the way up. So Sean checked his spotter, gave it the gas, and started the climb. And everything was going fine until his tires slipped.
Oh my God.
We were lucky that we didn't hit the wall and we didn't roll backwards, but it was enough to make both Sean and myself feel that there was some actual danger to hitting Hell's Gate with wet tires.
I was not expecting that.
Well done, Sean.
Thank you. I mean, we recovered. We recovered.
No damage. Whew. Okay, well, Sean made it. Be able to make it. My turn. Feeling a little nervous. Somebody riding with me, so let's do this. Let's see how it goes.
All right. Well, you ready for Hell's Gate?
I'm doing it. I don't know if I'm actually ready for it, but we're gonna do it, man. I think this rig can do it. I think
absolutely.
If I can pay attention to my spotter, I'll be okay. I'm actually the first thing I'm worried about is just that initial drop, because it was sketch riding with you.
I had unfortunately discovered yesterday that ledges and steep drops gave me some real anxiety. And while I'd recovered from a panic attack the day before, it still didn't feel good dropping into Hell's Gate.
Whew, okay. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna press the downhill assist. Oh boy. Oh, this is not my favorite. Ooh. Oh wow, okay. Whew. All right, that was a little dicey, but not too bad, actually, in the grand scheme of things. Okay, now we're gonna go up.
While I was gathering my courage to go up, Sean was finding the coolest ride ever to come down and meet me at the bottom.
This thing's awesome. I want one of these so bad.
Oh, hey dude, you made it down.
Tried to ride down the Willys.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now it was my turn to give it a go and hope my tires stuck to the walls.
Okay, got the rear locked, and I'm just going to send it.
Good luck, Will.
I can't even tell you what I was feeling in this moment because I was so focused on my spotter, Mike, I don't remember anything else.
That's how it's done, Will. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Woohoo! I feel like I was just baptized in like the off-road religion. That was awesome. Thanks, man. Mike, you were awesome. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Hell's Gate, baby. Oh man, I was nervous, but you know what? Good spotter goes a long, long way. That was so cool. Feel like did it, you know, and this rig and the suspension, that metal cloak suspension was flexing, and my, you know, it was keeping everything level. I never got too tippy. Tires were great, gripped right when I needed them to. Total win, total win. Dude, thank you so much for letting me ride with you and then
no problem.
Helping out, man. This is like,
you nailed it.
Thanks, dude. I learned it from watching you, Dad.
With my Moab indoctrination complete, I was feeling on top of the world. I conquered a fear, learned more about my Jeep, was in the outstanding company of good people, and everything just looked a little rosier to me.
I just wanna stay in the sun where I find. I know it's hard sometimes. Pieces of peace in the sun's peace of mind. I know it's hard sometimes. Yeah, I think about the end just way too much, but it's fun to fantasize. Taking my time on my ride. Oh, I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Taking my time on my ride.
Like, I'm real impressed with that two-door, man. It's been really fun to watch it wheel around.
Thanks. It's a lot of fun to drive.
We went on to, I think it's called Devil's Bathtub. You've probably seen it. It's this, it looks like a bathtub in the rock. And I have seen a lot of videos of like rigs flipping on it, so I don't think I'm going to be driving that today, but it'd be fun to see if anybody's in there trying to crawl it today. Let's go find out.
I think, is that the hot tub beside us?
Yeah, maybe. There's a bunch of tire marks in it.
Oh, that looks terrible. Yeah, there it is. Mickey's best. Hot tub. Mickey's hot tub. It's not a bathtub, guys. It's a hot tub.
I do love being on these trails at golden hour sunset. It's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, it is. Beautiful.
Those mountains look so cool from right here. This looks like just falling to your death right here.
So this is a little hill climb that Sean's going down, and from back here it looks like there's nowhere to go. Just tumble down the hill. Holy moly. Yeah. Basically, you're just disappearing off a cliff. Welcome to Moab. Drive off a cliff. Have some fun. Well, my turn. All right. You know, the nice thing about downhill assist is it will stop you without using the brake. You use the compression of the engine. You can kind of just feather the gas. And it does the work for you. Wow, that was crazy. So day 3 in Moab, and it's another like day of firsts for me. Doing this kind of rock crawling, which is way different than what we did on Metal Masher, has been a totally new experience for me. And you know, this was just like you follow a path and you hold your breath and you trust that everything is right with God, because it feels like you're gonna die. So if you've made it this far in the video and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that right now. We're trying to get 50,000 subscribers. Every single one counts, and I would love to have you as a subscriber. So thank you in advance for that. Copy that.
So can an overlander like myself handle rock crawling? The answer to that question is complicated. I'd be lying if I said I didn't get scared on this trip, but I also found beauty in the difficult trails, camaraderie in the community coming together, and awe in experiencing the landscapes of Moab. So, am I a rock crawler now? No, I'm not. But will I continue to do harder trails like this? Well, I guess I'll just have to keep watching and find out.